Hello, my name is Grayson Love, and today I'm going to show you the three basic steps of how to make a good video, which are scripting, shooting, and editing a video. And hopefully, by the end of this video, you will be able to make a video that looks sort of less like this and more like this. It's not actually that hard. The three basic components of video production are scripting, shooting, and editing. And by the end of this video, you should have at least a basic understanding of how to complete each step. Scripting isn't particularly fun. After all, when you're thinking about making a video, you're thinking about the lights and the cameras and the actors and the green screen, and maybe even Jeff Goldblum is there. But scripting isn't like that. It's long, and it's slow, and it's monotonous, and you have to get through it.
When will I get to see Jeff Goldblum?
Before you ask, no, you can't skip this step. If you do, you'll end up with something more akin to a home film or a TikTok video than something that's actually good.
Here's Jello.
So without further ado, let's talk about formatting. The basic format for a script consists of three different parts: the scene heading or slug line, the action, and the dialogue. The scene heading is where you describe the location and time of day of the scene. Interior and exterior are abbreviated as INT and EXT respectively. Time of day is listed as day or night, and the location is either given a title or given a small description. Next comes the part where you describe the actions playing out in the scene. Anything happening in the scene which isn't dialogue, be it an explosion or a fight or the turn of a camera, is considered action. The exact way you describe the action is up to you, but generally you'll want to try and be as descriptive as you can be. Next is dialogue. Dialogue is where the real meat of the scene usually is and consists of any spoken word which the audience can hear.
You shall not pass!
When you're writing dialogue, be careful not to let it completely dominate your scene. Videos are a visual medium, and so you'll want your script to be about 65% action and only 35% dialogue. If you don't, you'll end up telling and not showing, which means that you'll tell your audience what's happening rather than just showing them.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil!
By combining scene heading, action, and dialogue, you'll have a good script done in very little time at all. And while it might have been slow, you'll be glad that you wrote it once you've begun shooting. Shooting is the fun part, the part of the video making process which actually consists of making a video. Here I'll explain the equipment you'll need and some of the issues you can run into while shooting. The basic necessities that you'll need for making a video are a camera, a tripod, and a microphone. Whatever type of camera you can get your hands on is fine. Camcorders, DSLRs, and even some phone cameras are all perfectly suitable for video work. Next, you'll need a tripod. A tripod is what keeps your camera steady and gives you an easier time moving it around. If you're going to spend a lot of money on any piece of equipment, spend the most on the tripod. You could have the most expensive camera in the world and have a beautiful shot framed, but if it's a shaky shot, it's a bad shot. Finally, the microphone. Your mic is what you use to record audio, either on set or while getting a voiceover during post-production. There's a lot of different kinds of mics, from condenser mics to dynamic mics to weird satellite dish mics, but it's perfectly okay to just use the microphone built into your camera. With your equipment sorted out, now we can get to shooting. How good your end product will be is almost completely reliant on this part, so try and avoid mistakes. The main issues you should look out for while shooting are shaky shots and disruptive background audio. If your shot seems shaky, make sure that your tripod is set up correctly, and if it seems to be broken, find a stable surface to put your camera on and use that as a backup. Disruptive background audio is any kind of noise you don't want to be in the recording, and it's easy to miss. After you've finished recording a scene, play back your audio to confirm that there aren't any sounds that you don't want in the recording, like an airplane flying over or some kind of ghost moving around in your air vent. With your video recorded, now we can move on to the final step. Editing is easily the most complicated step, but it's also the last one. The main goal of editing is taking all the individual clips and audio files that you've recorded so far and combining them into a single finished video. For the purposes of this video, I'll be using Adobe Premiere Pro, but there's plenty of other editing software which you can use instead. To start, you'll need to import your footage onto your computer. If you record it with a camera that uses an SD card, you'll need to find the SD card slot on your computer. Some computers don't have one, but there are adapters online which you can find for fairly cheap. If you used your phone, you'll want to plug it into your computer like you would if you were charging it. Next, you'll want to open up Premiere and go up to File, then Import, then find the file with your footage and click OK. This will start importing the footage onto the project, and once it's done, you'll be able to find it in the lower left-hand box. Now you'll want to start arranging your clips in the order they need to be in according to the script. To port a clip onto the timeline, click and drag it into the place you want it to be. Once you've arranged your clips, you'll need to start cutting them to the right start and stop points. To cut, either use the cutting tool and delete the excess, or drag the side of the clip to where it needs to begin. After you've cut your clips the way you need them to be, you can add any effects you want. To find the effects, click on the effects button near the top and it'll open a big list of them. You may be overwhelmed by how many there are, but don't worry, you probably won't be needing nearly any of them. I've been using Premiere for about 5 years and I still don't know what most of them do. What is a chorus flanger? The effects you'll likely be using the most are video and audio fades. Fades slowly fade out audio or video to black and can make a cut much less jarring. To add a fade to a clip, just drag and drop it onto the correct clip, then extend the effect to where you want it to begin. The same principle applies for most other effects. Now that you've gotten your effects in, your video should be ready to export. To export, go up to the top and click File again, then Export, then Media. Now, click on the drop box titled Format and select H.264. Then go to Preset and select YouTube 1080p. Next, click on the blue text beside where it says Output Name. This is where you give your video a name and tell Premiere where on your computer to export it. Now, hit the Export button and Premiere will take care of the rest. Once it's exported, you're all done. Now you can go and watch your video to your heart's content. Video making can be tough and it definitely takes a while. This video alone took 27 hours. But regardless of how long it takes, watching the final edit always makes it worth it. And if you make a proper script, shoot well, and edit correctly, you'll have made a great video.